I live in Branson, Missouri, and not far from my house is an abandoned theme park called Celebration City. It's been abandoned for over a decade now, having closed in 2008. It was themed after America in the 20th century. It was opened in the afternoon into the evening, with each operating day closing out with a laser and fireworks display. The park featured many ride shows and attractions, and its operating season ran from May until mid-September. I had been there several times with my family as a kid, and when it closed down, we were all definitely saddened to hear they tore down most, if not all, of the roller coasters before closing. But even still, to this day, most of the buildings still stand, and it's a little known fact that it's kind of a very cool place to explore. Now Loki, my friend who I'll call Calvin, was very on board with my idea of going to check it out. I asked him because he's a family friend, and our families had been to the park together in the past. We drove over and parked in the Steak and Shake parking lot across the street, since the parking lot to the theme park had obviously been closed off for a very long time. It was around 7 p.m. The sun was setting. We didn't want to go in broad daylight in fear of getting caught or running into other people. We brought a couple heavy-duty flashlights for when it would get dark. In the meantime, we could see just fine. At first, we jogged across the street when no one was looking, as we didn't want to be obvious about trespassing in the park. When no cars were coming, we cut into the grass and into the trees surrounding the property of the park. It was surprisingly easy to sneak into the park. In fact, it didn't even really feel like we were sneaking in at all. Not that I'm encouraging anyone to trespass. Seeing all the old buildings and attractions I remembered from when I was a kid still standing in this now cold and empty setting was so eerie. It's like a part of my childhood was dead. One thing was for sure, though, we were the only people in this place. No other sounds but the crickets. We couldn't even hear the traffic from outside. As we walked around, we realized so much was left behind. It was clear that people had been here since it closed because of writings and occasional graffiti on the wall, but lots of props and such were still in place or behind the glass and buildings. Some of the buildings had broken glass, though, indicating people had broken in through one of these windows to one of the buildings. Once inside, we realized it was the diner, once called Last Chance Diner. It was dark inside and admittedly creepy. The front door was closed, locked, and covered. There were oddly planks of wood, and I guess other random debris and objects laying all around the dining space. The best I could describe it seemed like it was being used for storage, like things from outside were brought into there. Calvin was checking out the other side of the place. I yelled to him, "I'm checking out the bathroom." Then I proceeded to one of the bathrooms. There was a different smell in here, not possible to explain, but there were 3 stalls in here, and as soon as I got in, there was a sound from one of them, like something really small being dropped to the floor. I said hello. I had my flashlight on in this pitch black room. All 3 stall doors were closed, but something made a noise in there. I held the bathroom door open with my foot, then got on my knees and aimed the flashlight below one of the stalls, and I saw a pair of shoes and legs. I gasped and jumped, then looked under the other 2 stalls, and there was the same thing. There were 3 pairs of shoes and legs visible under the stall doors, and one of them began to move as if they were getting down on their knees to look under the stall door, but I didn't stick around long enough to see their face. I was already out of the bathroom, yelling for Calvin to 3 friendly people, also there exploring but just using the bathroom. I feel like they would have said something as I came in, or definitely after I said hello in there. By the time we were out of the park and back to the car, it was pretty much pitch black out. We haven't returned there since. I don't have an explanation for what I saw. It was scary and weird, and definitely switched the mood of what was otherwise a fun day.